Hello Hillgrovians, today we'll be doing our next lesson. Before we do so, make sure that you've already copied out Term 3 Week 5 folder from my projects area to your workspace. Okay, make sure you have done this first. Afterwards, you can continue with the video. What you need to do next is you need to start up your Scratch program. As so, I've already launched the Scratch program from my system. Now, first of all, what you need to do is head over to File, open it up, okay, and I want you to locate your Term 3 Week 5 folder. Okay, this should be in your workspace. Open up the lesson 4 called Caveman. All right. Now, as you can see, by default, all has been placed for you already. We're going to learn a few things today. First of all, we're going to learn on the sensing. We're going to learn on if-else statement. And we're also going to learn about scoring system. Now, these three elements and functions will help you with your Pacman project. Right? Now, let's take a look at our code. We have a background, the stage itself. We have a caveman character. And we have a little dinosaur over here. I call this dinosaur L Dino. That means land dinosaur. Later on, we might add one or two more sprites to this program. So clicking on the caveman, let us do the essentials first. Click on the eye icon, the information, right? And set the caveman rotational style to left and right. Once you're done with that, go out of the information page, right? And now I want you to run the program by default. Now by default, what you can do with the caveman based on your code is basically just moving left, right, up and down. And if it reaches on the edge of the screen, it will bounce off. So when I press on my key buttons, left, right, up and down, I can move my caveman upwards, okay, to the right, to the left, so on and so forth, right? And when it moves, okay, when it bounces off the screen, it will change its direction, so on and so forth. By now, you should know how to do this code. That's why I've included it for you. Okay, now let's take a look at the Dino code. When I click on it, the Dino code, when clicked, will have a show button, set X to 80, and set Y to -50, so it will be in this position by default. Okay, now what we're going to do now is, let's stop this code. We're going to create a script that allows our caveman to actually change its costume by clicking on the space bar. So as I can click on costumes, I see that there's caveman 1 and there's a caveman down here. All right, so this action gives a little hit action where the club that the caveman is holding actually moves up and down, and we will use the space bar to actually control this action. All right, so in order to do so, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the caveman code. Make sure you're in the caveman script. Let's go to events. What we need to do now is you're going to click on and drag when space is pressed. So this one indicates the space bar. You can change it. Of course, I want to set it to the space bar. We want to change the costume of the caveman. So let's go to looks, right? And we're going to switch our costume. Right, we need to keep on switching between 1 and 2. So in between two costume switches, we have this. Okay, what we need to do is we need to make sure that there is a wait time that must be done. So let's go to control. We can wait. Okay, and now let's take a look at our caveman over here. When I press the space bar again, as you can see, it's a very slow wait time, so you need to play around with the timing in order to get the right time for switching. So let me try something smaller. When I run my code, so I think this is a better fit. 0.1 seconds on your code will result in this motion over here. When I press my spacebar, I have my character looking as if like it's hitting. And whenever I move around, let's say if I'm over here and I press my spacebar, this gives the action of a hitting action. Okay. Now what we need to do next is we need to broadcast an action that will allow the dinosaur to get triggered by the hitting of the character. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, let's go to events, head over to broadcast. Let's give this a name, new message. The message name we're going to give is hit, H-I-T. So every time when the character is pressing the spacebar, we will broadcast this command called hit. Okay, now we're going to go into the dinosaur code over here. So click on the dinosaur script. Over here we will receive the hit command. So when I receive a hit, okay, we need to check first if the sprites are touching one another. If they are touching one another, then this dinosaur will create another action only when he receives the hit. So let's go to our if statement. Okay, we drag and drop our if statement. So if the sprites are touching, so let's use the sensing command, because sensing is how we can tell whether they're touching or not. And we have this command over here. So if the dinosaur, right, if the dinosaur is touching the caveman, all right, if the dinosaur is touching the caveman, then what's going to happen is we are going to hide the dinosaur. So let's click on looks and we can see hide. All right, now before we say that, perhaps we can do a little action to show that it's working. So I'm going to put a hello command and just say ouch. Okay, I'm going to say ouch for 2 seconds. After that, we hide the dinosaur. Okay, let's run the script. Now I'm going to act like I'm hitting. Okay, nothing is happening. So let me go to the dinosaur and now let me hit it. The dinosaur says ouch and it will hide. So this gives you your command for touching. Okay, let's try that again. Run my code. Okay, my character, I can move my character using my mouse. Go to my dinosaur, click on the spacebar. The dinosaur will say ouch and it will disappear. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we need to make our dinosaur randomly move around the screen. All right, now in order to do that, it's going to be quite tricky. There are two ways to do it. We can either use a move command or we can use a glide command. All right, so in the dinosaur script, we're going to leave this, maybe move this over here. When the green flag is clicked, we show the dinosaur, we set it at its values that are there, and what we're going to do is we're going to glide. All right, and I'll show you the difference. Now, when gliding for 1 second, we need to know where's the position. All right, and right now in the screen, when I move my dinosaur around, all right, I don't want my dinosaur to go too high. Okay, so maybe over here, right? So maybe this is the final point. So over here, you can check out at this area on the right side of the screen. You can see where your coordinates are for the Y command. So Y, the highest is 111. All right, so before I change this Y, what we need to do is we need to make sure that the dinosaur is in the position that is the highest point and in the lowest point. So that means the dinosaur will stop here. Okay, the dinosaur to be at the leftmost point as well as the rightmost point. Okay, so we want the dinosaur to randomly move around the screen. So let's use an operator, and we're going to use this command called pick random. So let me explain. When you use the pick random, click on X, right? Select it on X. Now on the left side, I want the dinosaur to be here, for instance. Right? We take a look at where the X position is. It's -165. So I'm going to put here as minus 165. Yours might be different from mine. Okay, take note. I'm going to move my dinosaur now to the extreme right, maybe where this position should be okay. Then it's about x is 193, so I'm going to put s 193. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for y. Initially, when I move it up, I want it to be only up to here. Let's say here is fine. Now this one is y is about 104, so I'm going to put as 104. I'm going to move the dinosaur all the way down, maybe up to here. And I look at my y coordinate, it's minus 112. Minus 112. So now when I start my script, this is what's happened. My dinosaur is moving, but it moves only to one position. So if I want to continue gliding, all right, I would have to use a loop. In order to do a loop, we head over to control. Now we have a ton of loops we can use. We can repeat it for a number of times. We can loop it forever. So probably we want to use the forever loop. Okay. Now, when I run my script, this is what's going to happen. As you can see, the dinosaur now moves randomly on its own. Every time in a forever loop means it will continue to move to a new location every 1 second. So of course, if I make this number larger, the dinosaur will take slightly longer time to move from one point to the other. So you can see now it's starting to move slowly. All right, I can make it even longer. So let's say if I put it to 5 seconds and I run my script, as you can see now it takes a very long time to move from one point to the other. All right, so if we play this game, okay, I run the whole script. Let me click on my caveman first. Now when I run the entire script and I move my character, I should have my dinosaur being able to go there. Let me try to hit the dinosaur and see if it works. So it works, the dinosaur says ouch and disappears. Okay, now the last thing what we're going to do today is we're going to work with scoring. Now to create a score, you need to create a data. So let's click on data over here. You should get something like this, a variable and a list, right? So what we need to do to create a score is we need to create a variable. So click on it. They'll ask you a few things. Okay, first of all, the variable name. So our variable name is called score, S-C-O-E. Okay, and we can set this for all sprites or just for the caveman sprite. Now, if for the caveman sprite, that means score will only be available on this script. It will not be available for the rest of the script. My suggestion is leave it for all the sprites so that it's easier to connect the scoring together. Right? Press OK. So what we have here now is the score. Okay, and it's checked. When it's checked, you can see the score at the side. Of course, this doesn't need to be here. You can move it to the other side if you want to. All right, totally up to you. Okay, we have a set score, change score, to show or hide your score. All right, these are variables that you can do. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set our score to 0. All right, and we are going to do this at the beginning of the game. For scores, I would suggest putting it at the stage. Okay, so over here, under stage scripts, press on events. When the green flag is clicked, data, we set the score to 0. The next thing we're going to do is we need to find a place to actually change the score. Now, the only way to change the score is when the dinosaur is being hit. So let's go to the dinosaur code, right? And this is the momentum over here. This is the portion where we were going to put in our changing command. So only after it is hidden, after we hide the dinosaur, we increase the score. So let's change the score over here. We can use this to change the score. Oops. All right. Now we can change the score by a number, by any number that you want. For this game, let's just put as the score of 10. Okay, so when I receive the hit, if it's touching the caveman, say ouch for 2 seconds, hide the dinosaur, and change the score by 10. So let's see if this plays out very well. Run the code. Okay, right now the score is 0, as you can see on the top left corner of the preview window. I'm going to move my caveman around. Okay, let me just touch this dinosaur and smack it. Ouch, The dinosaur is hidden. As you can see, the score is now set to 10. Okay, and you can turn off your game. All right, so this is a very simple program where your caveman works with hitting the dinosaur. Right, your dinosaur is moving randomly around the screen, and you can literally earn a score. Okay, now what you need to do next is, or what I want you guys to do next is, I want you guys to duplicate the dinosaur. So have more than one dinosaurs. Now, it's always good to always have one dinosaur, all right, with all the codes set for it already. From there, you can literally duplicate it with the same codes. Just right click on your sprite and click on duplicate. So when LDino2 comes out, LDino2 will already have all the commands there for you. Okay, they are all set in different positions. So let's now try to run this game. Okay, so we have LDino1 and LDino2. If you feel that the dinosaurs are too big, you can make it smaller. Okay, let me just make my dinosaurs smaller a bit. Okay, 8 clicks should be okay. Okay, and now let me run my code. Some of you realize, let me stop this for a while. Some of you realize that you don't really have to set X to 80 and set Y to -50. You can actually do a random position to where these dinosaurs will go. So what do I mean by that? We can just duplicate this. All right, and this is for X. I'm gonna duplicate this and put it for Y. So now wherever the dinosaur, when we start the game, the dinosaurs will appear at different locations instead of being at one standard location. Right? We can do this the same for the other dinosaur as well. Right? Because you have to do it for both. Okay. Now let's try and run this game. As you can see now, the dinosaurs starts at different areas. Right? Let me see if I can get the score of 20. Okay. So if I go and hit this dinosaur, ouch. I'm gonna hit this dinosaur, ouch. And there you go, you should have a score of 20. So by duplicating the sprites, you'll have more dinosaurs. So let's try to duplicate up to 5 dinosaurs. You can do this as well. Just simply right click, duplicate. Let's have a total of 5 dinosaurs appear on screen. Okay, and I want to change this caveman. Let's go to the caveman script now. I want the caveman to start at this corner over here. So I'm going to drop him here. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll take note of his positioning and I will change the set X and set Y. Okay. So once I've done my coding, I'm going to start the gameplay. All right, and now you can see all these dinosaurs are moving around. This gives you an assistance when you're creating your Pacman game. Okay, so let me see if I can get all the dinosaurs over here. Ouch, ouch, ouch. There we go, another one. All right, the scores maximum should be 50. There we go. And then, oh, this dinosaur doesn't disappear. Right, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, that's how we play the game. All right, and with that, you should be done with your caveman lesson. As for now, if you're done with this program, please make sure to save your work in your workspace. Make sure you call this lesson 4. You can save it in your term 3 week 5 folder in your workspace. All right, after you're done with this, carry on with your Pacman project and see whether you can now make your ghost move to different locations. All right, thank you.